Come on in, the water's fine.
Alright, my favorite grandpa story is definitely when he was sitting with his group of friends and grandpa was telling a story and he couldn't remember a word, and his friend with Alzheimer's or dementia was able to help him figure out what the word was to complete the story.
So my favorite story of Grandpa is a combination of stories just from when I was young. From all the times that he would walk into the kitchen when Grandma and I were cooking and he would try to help, and immediately we would throw him out because he would only make more of a mess and the cookies would always turn out rocks.
One of my favorite stories about you, Grandpa, was when you came to Penn and you were so competitive that you kept challenging the girls to game after game after game of Flip Cup until you finally won. And as soon as you won, you quit. And that was it. There you go.
One of my best memories of Grandpa is sitting in the family room for a half hour with Uncle Chris, trying to decide what restaurant we're going to go to, going back and forth for a half hour. And we finally go to the restaurant. I said, nah, this place isn't good enough. Go to the other one. It's terrible.
Grandpa, happy 85th. I do have video putting on the Ritz, Bill's Bar, so Ixnay on the word.
One of the most fun things to do with Grandpa is watch The Godfather after Thanksgiving. Woohoo! Okay, wow!
One of the funniest things I recall of Grandpa is him watching the Big Rock Candy Mountain every single time he came over. I bet he's addicted.
Happy birthday, Dad. You know, a funny grandpa dad story. There's so many, but I guess, you know, one of the things when after a family weekend like this, I find myself chuckling back to that first date you and Mom had, walking up and down, I think the streets of New York City, looking for the right restaurant. Hours and hours and hours went by as you tell the story, and it's left us all, the O'Neill children, with a legacy of the inability to make a decision on where to go to eat. But God bless you, it's one of the things that makes us O'Neills. Love you. Happy birthday, Dad.
After Dan and I got engaged, you know, a few months into it, Pat and Hugh were sort of like, well, you know, if you want to call us Mom and Dad, that's okay. I understand that you have a mom and dad. And I'm like, oh, thank you. And like after that, it was sort of like they weren't Mr. and Mrs. O'Neill. They were, hi. I didn't know what to call them. So for years, even after we were married, I was just like, hey, you know, there was no Pat or Hugh or Mom or Dad. It was just, it took years to get comfortable calling them Pat and Hugh.
So one of the funniest stories that Dad would tell, and it would often be pretty reluctantly that he would admit to it, but sometimes he would enjoy telling the story of the day of his sister's wedding, Patsy's wedding. He ends up boxing with his father, and he does the famous underarm bolo punch and just pops his dad right over the eye and breaks blood, and made them for great wedding pictures.
Dad, I remember you playing a variety of great music when I was a kid, from the Clancys to opera to Dave Brubeck, and taking me to see Duke Ellington and Dave Brubeck when I was a wee little one, and to the opera Carmen, and that instilled a great love of music in me that continues to this day. Thanks very much.
Happy birthday, Dad. Thanks for a lot of fun memories, camping memories, and that trip to California where we heard the whole time that Johnny Cash song, Going to California, put some sand in my shoes. And I remember when we got there, you getting your shoes off and you got some sand in your shoes. Happy birthday.